All right. So today we are going to practice some half-life calculations that you're probably going to find a little easier than the ones we did on Tuesday. And these are more similar to what's going to be on the homework quiz. Then we're going to take the homework quiz. And then I've got a review sheet for you to start working on. And I've posted the review sheet and the answers on the Zoom and other important links. And I have hard copies of the review sheet as well. Tomorrow, we'll finish up the review sheet and we'll work on a practice test. And then Monday at 8 a.m., the test is going to appear in Google Classroom for everybody. And you take the test at any time. And once you take the test, if you've already done your nuclear flip grid, which is technically next Wednesday's assignment, but once you've done the test and the nuclear flip grid web presentation or just really quick talk, then you're done for the semester. So a lot of my students, I realize, will be done next Monday after they take the test. And we still have class Tuesday and Thursday and then the makeup day Friday that people may or may not come for. If you're done with everything, then you're done early in this class. If you have missing assignments, then you will use class time to do any and all missing work that you have, okay? My deadline for everything is 3 p.m. next Friday. I cannot accept anything after that. And I think that's probably the most generous deadline you've gotten from any of your teachers. So make sure that you are using that time wisely. So for today, I want to go over this little warm up. And again, it's on the Zoom and other important links document, but the answers are going to be what we're going to go over them together. And so we're going to practice these problems. Then we're going to take the homework quiz on this. Then we're going to work on the review sheet. So starting with number 1. Let's do them kind of together. We'll go through them one at a time. You guys do the answers and then I'll go over the answers. So number 1 says you start with 200 atoms of a radioactive material. How many atoms are left after 1 half-life, 2 half-lives, 3, and 4? So fill out that paper. All right. So remember, every time there's a half-life, we cut the amount in half. So how many do we have after 1 half-life? What? 100. How many do we have after 2 half-lives? 50. After 3? After 4? And remember, calculators are encouraged if doing mental math is hard for your brain in the morning. Use one. Better than getting it wrong. Number 2 is talking about length of half-lives. So it says a radioisotope has a half-life of 30 minutes. How much total time has passed after the first half-life? How much total time, write it down, after the second half-life? I don't want you to say it. I want you to write it down. After the third half-life, after the fourth half-life. So fill in as you go. We will then go over the answers. So hopefully after the first half-life, you said 30 minutes. The second half-life would have had a total of 60 minutes because every time we just add 30 minutes. So then it's 90 minutes and 120 minutes. All right. Number 3, a sample of radioactive material starts at 300 grams. How much is left after 4 half-lives have passed? So take a moment and do that problem. Okay, so we cut it in half. 4 times. So 300 divided by 2 is 150, divided by 2 is 75, divided by 2 is, what is that, 37.5? Having trouble thinking this morning. Divided by 2 is 18.75. All right. So we just divide it by 2 4 times because they told us that it had 4 half-lives. Next question. If it takes 40 minutes for 8 half-lives to pass, what is the length of 1 half-life? How do we do that one? Yeah, hi. Yeah, just 40 divided by 8 because we know all half-lives are going to be the same length of time. And so you've had 8 5-minute periods that have happened in that total of 40 minutes. Number 5. A radioactive element has a half-life of 1 hour. At 2 p.m., there's 400 grams. What would be the mass of the sample at 5 p.m.? So you need to figure out how many half-lives have happened and divide accordingly. So I'll give you a moment to do that. All right, for number 5, it went from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., which is how many hours? Which is 3 half-lives, right? Because it says that a half-life is 1 hour. So first we determine that 3 half-lives have happened, and then we divide by 2 3 times. And we get 50 grams. Are these making a little bit more sense than Tuesday's worksheet? Or are they feeling a little bit easier? These are the kinds of problems we'll have on our homework quiz today. And last period, people did really well on the homework quiz, so that was a really good sign. How many grams of a 120-gram sample will be left after 3 half-lives? So they're telling you what it's starting with, and they're telling you the number of half-lives. We do 120 divided by 2, divided by 2, and divide one more time, and I get 15 grams. Our last problem says calculate the half-life of a sample that went from 250 grams to 31.25 grams in 24 minutes. So try that guy. Yeah, you'll need that for the quiz in a moment. Bless you. Sneezing in the mask is the weirdest, worst thing. I guess there could be worse things. All right. So the first thing I would do if they give me the starting grams and the ending grams is I would divide those by 2 until I get to the ending number to figure out how many half-lives there are. Oh no. It's not 61, is it? 62. So I had to divide by 2 3 times. So that means there's 3 half-lives. And the total time is 24 minutes. So 24 divided by 3 equals 8-minute half-lives. So if you're able to do those problems, you are able to do the homework quiz that I am assigning now. If you are not quite ready, you can hold off and ask me a few questions or get a little bit more help. But after you've done your homework quiz, then for the rest of the period, we are working on the study guide, which includes a mixture of balancing equations and all the nuclear chem we've been doing, because our test is going to be on balancing equations and nuclear chemistry. The study guide and the answer key are available on the Zoom and other important links document. And so with that, my Zoomers, you do not have to